What's going on, guys? Mike Echoes here, and welcome back to another episode of Game Dev Journey. This episode, I'm going to showcase my final project portfolio piece for my associates in game development. This was our final project before graduation. Spoiler alert, I graduated. I now have my associates in game development. We'll be starting my bachelor's in game development September 29th. So this project, we had to work on teams. Our team was named TeamHowlite, as you will see here in just a minute when I load the level in. My team consisted of myself, Matthew Nagy, a student at Full Sail University, Zachary Robertson, a student at Full Sail University, and Austin Ferguson, a student at Full Sail University. All four of us were going for our associates in game development. Um, just a side note, we did not write the source code or like the underlying gameplay code. So all the zombies, the logic for the zombies, the logic for the player, and the gunplay were all already there. Our job was to come up with mechanics, as you will see in the level, and I will tell you who did what. And swapping out, well, not swapping out because we had to block mesh first. So we had to block mesh the level and get it looking good, which is basically just a rough copy of our level layout. And then we had to swap all of that block mesh out with finalized assets, which you can actually see here on the screen. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and load into the level and show you what we've done. So first area you can see is the parking lot. Matthew Nagy and Austin Ferguson did most of the environmental art here. Well, environmental building, I should say, asset swapping and creation of the level layout. I did all of the foliage and vines that you can see hanging around and everywhere. Let's get started. So level start TeamHowlite, that was our team name. We come into the parking lot and we can see it's dilapidated. There's vines growing over everything. Got a little bit of bushes and stuff growing up through the cracks. We've got some skeletons laying around, graffiti on the stuff. We come to our first bit of stuff that we wrote ourselves, which is the electrified mechanic. You can see the sparks, it hurts you, you can't open the door. We actually see the wire laying over it, creating the sparks, and we follow the wire and it leads us over there. But if the player doesn't put 2 and 2 together, they can come in here and find this note. I'm out. I quit. Whoever finds this can deal with the problems. People running and driving crazy, power lines coming down. I'm lucky I'm not dead. I'm not going anywhere near that electrical cage. Someone else's problem now. This just lets the player know if they didn't put 2 and 2 together that there's an electrical cage they need to find, and that's where the problem is. So come over to this area, the gate's locked, can't get through. We follow the wire and we come up on my mechanic. Now I wrote these barrels myself from scratch. Give them a proper static mesh and material that shows a little flaming barrel. Also give them a red outline glow. That way the player knows, oh, these are interactable. They can be destroyed. Without further ado, shoot it. Blows up. Actually affects the destructible walls and blows them apart and blows them into space, as you can see. They also affect each other and physics-based objects, so they'll blow anything physics-based away from themselves with radial force. Thought it was pretty cool. Thought they were pretty close to AAA. This is Zachary Robertson's mechanic. It's a circuit board or a circuit breaker with switches. You activate one switch, all the other switches will turn off, and the wires actually have a yellow outline if they're activated, so you can kind of follow what's being activated. So moving on, that should have turned off our sparks. We come back to the door. Sparks are off. Door doesn't hurt you anymore. You can interact with it. Now, this is the shipping yard. I did all of the asset swapping and finalized environmental put together for this area. Matthew Nagy did the decals for the graffiti and the decals that add a little bit of extra oomph, like the tire marks and so on. Set this area up so we should be able to sneak around. That one zombie might, yeah, that one zombie's on me. See if we can run around. Yep, they're all on me. Gonna have to fight them. Okay, so the exploding barrels actually do work in combat, so I'm about to show off. Oh, it hurt me. Let's see if we can jump up here. Oh, he's too fast. Alright, one zombie left. Show off these exploding barrels some more. And boom. Got some health on the table and more ammo. All zombies should be dead. Yeah, we're good. Moving on, we'll come over to the first service elevator. We'll hit the elevator call button, and as you can see, the wires lead over there, and they're all lit up to show that they have been activated. Matthew Nagy did all the art swapping and creation for the service elevator. I think it looks pretty decent. The buttons animate. Turn our flashlight on, and we'll proceed. So we're coming into Austin Ferguson's mechanic room, the introduction to his mechanic. We turn the valve, water turns on there, water raises, and once it gets above the zombies' heads, they drown. All dead. We hit the valve again, the water turns off, and the water lowers. Pretty neat. That was Austin's mechanic. Another cool thing we came up with, Austin and the whole team kind of came up with this idea, was that we would have floating platforming pieces that would raise with the water to kind of float on top of it. Thought that was cool. Another service elevator leading up. The button should animate, yep, up on the thing, showing you've pressed the up button. And now we're coming into my personal baby of the project. I spent about 60 hours of the 2.5 weeks in this room. All art assets and environmental building was done by myself with a little bit of help from Austin Ferguson and Matthew Nagy. The detail, we've got busted windows with vines growing through it. We've got ventilation system with an air conditioner up there. We've got all this clutter and dilapidation with the I did not do the flood room in the bottom. I just did all of the art assets around it. Austin Ferguson, I believe, did the flood area. We've got silo pipes leading outside to a silo, and then if we hop up, we can see the outside. It looks decent, so it's not just empty space. Environmental storytelling, we've got glass on the floor where the windows busted out with the vines growing through. We did a hub and spoke design for this room, so we've got these keys that go in here that'll unlock latches to the door. And if we read the notes, we have a new guy getting hired today. Make sure to train him on how to put the key cartridges in the console. Knowing what corporate send us, the guy won't know where the bathroom is for 4 whole weeks. That kind of lets the player know all these keys go in there. And then we've got here, the supervisors keep the key cartridges to the security door. Ownership thought it was a cool showpiece for a power cell company, but it's so pointless and in the way. Should just be left open all the time, if you ask me. This tells the player all the supervisors have the key cards, go look for them. So moving on, we'll come over to here. Oh, and by the way, we only had 2.5 weeks to put this project together and complete. I did these vending machines just to have a little bit more player interaction and something that the player can heal themselves with if they're a little low on health. I did most of the asset swapping in this room. This is actually Zachary Robertson's mechanic room. We'll show it off now. So we've got a switch, open the door. We can see the wires lead to the doors. We'll flip this one because it leads to this door. It opens this door. We've got this room. And for this puzzle, you're supposed to actually run out the door. So we put these green lights above the door that show, oh, it's on a countdown, and it closes. So that lets the player know, oh, if I run through there, I can do it. So that's what the player's supposed to do. They run through the door. This door is open, and there's a key card. I think it's gotten bad out there. People have been screaming and running, but I stayed locked in my office. I don't know how long it'll be till rescue arrives, but the operations officer knows to check on me here, or check here for me. I trust him. Got a key card, so we'll take that. Set up the office, and I think the environmental art looks pretty good. Run back to the control room. Second key down. So moving on to the centerpiece, we can see we've got flood pipes with the flood mechanic in it. We've got electrical wires leading down in the water. That tells me the water is probably dangerous. We follow the wire here. Go ahead and turn flashlight on. We'll come over here and we see all these valves and pipes. We've got our note, letting the player kind of know what to do. Foreman is saying we have to turn off all the valves, some kind of emergency. Guess it's a rush job, but I'm not climbing up to get to that valve above the shelves. Last time I did that, I was lit up in bed for a week. So this tells us to look up. There's valves above our head. If we follow the pipe from the wall here, we've got the first one. We'll go ahead and shut that off. We'll shut this one off. We'll shut this one off. We'll shut this one off. And that should have lowered the water. Yeah, there it goes. The water's lowered, but we've still got the problem with the electrical wire. So we follow the electrical wire over here. We come through the door. Wait, did I get this one? I don't think I did. Get this last valve out here. Activating the last set of pipe. Follow the pipe through, the electrical wire through, and we've got one last valve. Turn the valve, and it'll flood this room, raising the platforming pieces, killing the zombies. We've got health pack, ammo, a little bit of platforming. Turn the circuit breaker off, disables the wire. Come out here, flip that flashlight back off. The sparks are gone, so we know the water's safe. We jump in the water, almost gets above our head, but it doesn't, so we're safe. Key card, and we're golden. Now that section with the pipes and valves was actually done by Austin Ferguson. Props to him for coming up with the valve ideas and that puzzle. Everything was developed in the LDD as a team effort, though, so we kind of all brainstormed and came up with these ideas together. The implementation was just done mostly by Austin Ferguson. Matthew Nagy actually did everything for the control room, the control panel, and the security door. And this is my room, my mechanic block. So we've got barrels and the reinforced, or not reinforced, but destructible wall doors kind of blocking our path. So the player can't get through. We've got one here showing the player, hey, I've got to blow these walls out of the way. So we'll come up top, and then if we look, we've got barrels, which open our pathway. And we've got another one right here. Blow that out of the way. And then the last one right here, let's get a clean shot. Boom. I love how it destroys those boards and blows them into space. Alright, we come back here. Zombies and a bunch of dead skeletons with food around them. So we'll find our note. We were able to block off any zombies from coming in, but we were running out of food. We didn't think that far ahead. We should be able to make it, though. I don't think they made it. Got our last key card. Extremely pleased with how this room turned out. It took me a long time. Even the lights with the railing up on the rafters and everything. It looks good in my opinion. Final key. That should be all the locks. Door swings open and we can proceed. So Matthew Nagy did this elevator. I think he did a excellent job. We've got sound effects, doors open nicely. Come in, we hit a button, it actually animates and shows the button's been hit. Doors shut with sound effects. Elevator raises. Doors open with sound effects. Nicely done. Matthew Nagy also did the sky bridge here, leading to the second warehouse. This second warehouse is also my baby. I did most of the asset swapping down below. Only thing I didn't do was the door over there. And then this office was done by Matthew Nagy and Zachary Robertson. Catwalk was done by Austin Ferguson. We come in here and I did the vending machines and just made another one with chips. In the final build, these preview lights won't be there, just kind of ignore them for now. It's where I'm playing it from the editor. This puzzle was designed by Zachary Robertson. In my opinion, it's a little too difficult, but I know how to do it, so I'm just going to kind of rush through it. I've got another note. We don't know what's going on, but Jerry just went crazy over something he heard on the radio. Started taking people out left and right. Tony and I barely got in this room, but Jerry's still pacing outside. We're going to wait him out and then leave. I don't think that worked out for you. And there's 2 skeletons to kind of corroborate that. We got that lever, 1 green. Come back over here, now the door's open. Flip this lever, 2 green, and then the final lever, or circuit breaker, all green. Preservation case opens up. We've got the main point of the level, which is the stack of power cell schematics. The schematic shows a very powerful and detailed power cell that the Bastion needs to produce more instead of recycling old ones. And we've also got the catwalk key, which is needed to open this door. Use the catwalk key. The door opens. Oh, I'm going to credit Austin Ferguson with this little cinematic, and coding for all that was done by Austin, which we fall into the foreman's tower. Another note. I told them all that we were going to see the end times. They never listened to me. Now we've got it right at our doorstep. The end is not nigh. It is here. Repent. Crazed fanatical. Go ahead and reload. Grab this little bit of ammo. We need any health? No. And then we've designed this as kind of the last little hoorah mini boss fight. Okay. And we'll see if we can get as many to follow us as we can. Alright, more coming. 2 shots left. No! Oh, I'm dead. A developer dying at their own game. Shows you that all the stuff respawns, the barrels even respawn. We coded it nicely. I think we might have put a little too many zombies, to be honest. How did that not kill any of them? Right, we'll come up here. We've got ammo and I think that might have actually done it. We've got one more right here. Come on. Dead. Alright, I think that's all of them. So, yeah, I did most of the asset swapping in this room. Just did all the clutter and environmental architecture, things like that myself. I think it looks alright. We'll credit Austin Ferguson for this door. He animated these chains nicely. No sound effect, though. That's my only gripe about this. And we're coming up on the end of the level. We've got a scrapper and a zombie dead with a box full of goodies. I'm not going to sit here and waste time collecting all of it, but that's kind of like a little reward for completing the level. We've got breadcrumb trail planks leading out to a motorcycle at the end, and we come up to the motorcycle. That's the level. So all in all, we had 2.5 weeks to work on this. I think we had like 320 man hours between the 4 of us. Myself, Austin Ferguson, and Matthew Nagy are actually in talks of developing our own indie team as we speak. We've got a project in mind that we would like to start on. Let me guys know what you think, and yeah, really glad that I'm graduated now, have my associates in game development. Looking forward to starting my bachelor's in game development from Full Sail University in September. More videos to come, and if we start working on our own project, I will keep you guys updated. As always, much love, guys. Drop a comment, like whatever you want to do. I'm not gonna push it too hard. And have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one.